What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Pub Trivia BettorCast, brought to you by Better Sports Network. Tonight, we are here to test your knowledge on the NFL, fantasy football, and the World Cup, specifically some Women's World Cup trivia, because we've got the Women's World Cup going on right now. I know I'm repping the wrong jersey for the match we got on Wednesday, but we got 30 trivia questions prepared for you tonight that we're going to get into ever so shortly. I'm your host, Simon Greeneville, joined as always by my co-host, Joey Wright, and we are one Tim and one appendix short here. Tim Wright is still a little under the weather, but he'll be back with us next week. What's up, Joey?
I ate a hot dog for dinner.
You better watch out. Your appendix is next if you're eating nothing but hot dogs. I don't know what an appendix does or how it works, but I think a hot dog could affect it.
I got my gallbladder taken out, which is on the other side of an appendix. And there's definitely foods and drinks I can't have, or just like a chicken McNugget. It might as well just right out.
Well, everyone, hold on to your appendices. We're going to get into some trivia here ever so shortly. If you have never played here with us, how this is going to work tonight is you're going to be on the Better Sports Network app. So you're going to want to go to that app store, download the Better Sports Network app. And in that app, all of the questions we ask are going to pop up on your screen. You're going to press the answer that you think is correct. Get it right, you'll add 10 points to your score. Get it wrong, you will subtract 10. We're going to have 3 sets of 10 questions that we'll go through like this. Again, that is in the Better Sports Network app. The first set will be our classic front yard fantasy style questions, mostly NFL and fantasy related, maybe with some nonsense mixed in. That middle pack is going to be our Women's World Cup pack. And then that third and final pack will finish off with some more NFL and fantasy trivia in your FYF pack there. We got some people in the chat, some past champions in here hanging out. Ladarius coming in saying good evening all and good luck to all.
Good luck to you, sir.
We got Damon here said, what went on the dog, Joey?
Mustard, relish, and cheese. Pretty simple.
Oh, classic. We got Scampers in here saying happy Monday, FYF. What's up, Scampers? Glad to have you in here. And Andrew said, I have 30 answers, but not all of them will be correct. Well, you are well on your way to at least finishing with some points. I see Monday Night Rants, our friend Ed over in the BSN chat. Guys, hop into the BSN app. That's where you're going to be playing as well. And I see Victor in here saying, hola, bro, chacho, smash that like button. It's trivia night. And he had Chicago dogs yesterday. And he's loving the shirt. I figured I'd represent the other half of me going into the Wednesday night game. And I did not tell Joey ahead of time that I would be wearing this shirt. And he's upset that he doesn't have his on.
I literally have like 20 tops in my closet. I had many to choose from, so it wasn't that I don't want to participate.
That's so weird because I had one and I'm wearing it. I'm wearing the one and only one that I have. Well, guys, we're going to get into this trivia ever so shortly. I see Better Boss in the chat, Matt, joining us saying, let's do this. Saying this is his night. He's coming in trying to steal the title. Joe, you ready to get into that first question?
Oh, Simon, there's not many things in this world I've been more ready for than to get into this first question.
Well, one thing before we do that, I want to remind everyone watching where they can catch everything that we're creating here on the Better Sports Network. If you head to the Better Sports Network YouTube channel, you're going to be able to watch all of our talk shows, see video clips of our best moments, and interviews that we conducted on YouTube, Twitter, and bettersports.com. So make sure you head on over to the Better Sports Network YouTube channel. That's where you're going to catch all this stuff. The Fantasy Football Game Show replays, the new Coupe A Fiasco show that they got going on, and Britt Flynn's new show as well. You can find all of those there.
I was on the first show. I was the first guest.
Maybe skip that episode and then watch the next
that's not nice.
one. I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
You're right.
That's fine.
Sorry,
we talked
Joey.
about stuff. I don't know what we talked about.
Okay. You know what?
Devontae Adams. We talked about Devontae Adams.
The rest of the time, I'm going to be kind to Joey, starting with this first question because I think you're going to know it. Here it is. Since 2013, so that is the last 10 seasons, the Browns have had the most different starting quarterbacks with 11. 2 teams are tied for second during that time frame with 10 different starting quarterbacks apiece. The Houston Texans and which other team? Is it A, the Los Angeles Rams, B, the New York Jets, C, the Denver Broncos, or D, the Jacksonville Jaguars? So I'm giving you the piece of info that the Browns have had the most different starting QBs to nobody's surprise, I think. But then the Texans and which other team have had 10?
Starters, right? Starters.
These are starting QBs during the regular season.
It's funny because the name in my head was Lions, but then I was like, well, no, Stafford was there for so long. That's not right.
And they weren't even an option.
No. So that's why I threw that out. But there's one on there that I was like, okay, this is probably it.
Also, I see Fantasy Life joining us over here. Hey, dudes, what's up? Welcome in. Get in on this trivia and start answering. The first question, too late.
Dude or dudette, who's ever running Fantasy Life right now?
The correct answer to this question, the other team with 10 different starting quarterbacks, was A, the Los Angeles Rams.
Really?
The Rams have had 10 different starting quarterbacks over the past 10 seasons. The only other team besides the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns in those double digits. All right, we're going to...
Sure it was the Jets. Wow, okay.
They had, I don't know,
9,
somebody
probably.
for a certain amount of time. Here we are. Question number 2. What I want to know is, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, which of the following teams has the best odds to win the NFC? Is it A, the Chicago Bears, B, the Los Angeles Chargers, C, the Atlanta Falcons, or D, the Seattle Seahawks? So according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, which of the following teams has the best odds to win the NFC? A, the Chicago Bears, B, the Los Angeles Chargers, C, the Atlanta Falcons, or D, the Seattle Seahawks?
What's interesting about these conference questions is once you get away from Super Bowl odds and you go to conference and division, it gets really tricky because some divisions are weaker than others. So this is a tricky question, Simon. But I am going to say I know which one it's not. I see Better Boss said he was in on the Jets on the last question. So was I, Matt. Great minds and beautiful people think alike, apparently.
I believe the Jets have had 9. I think you guys aren't far off by having the Jets up there as your next best choice. They were on the list whenever I was looking at the teams with the most over the last 5 years. Well, Joey, do you think you know the answer to this one?
Yeah, I put an answer in there.
Take a stab.
I took Seattle. I said Seattle.
Well, Joey, you would be absolutely correct. It is the Seattle Seahawks. The trick was the Los Angeles Chargers aren't even in the NFC. They're in the AFC. They got pretty good odds, though, similar to Seattle's. But Seattle definitely has the Bears and the Falcons beat out on that front. They believe in Geno Smith. Andrew got this one right.
I do too.
Seattle, but not by much. Well, nice job, Andrew. We're going to move on to our next question. I see the Jets tripped up a lot of people on that one. But here's question number 3, trying to turn this one back around. There were 3 wide receivers with a rush of more than 50 yards last season. Deebo Samuel, Ray McLeod III, and which NFC North wide receiver? Was it A, Christian Watson, B, Darnell Mooney, C, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or D, Justin Jefferson? So Deebo, Ray, and which other player had rushes of more than 50 yards last season? There were only 3 wide receivers that did it. I see your friend Craig down in the BSN chat joining us. What's up, Craig? Welcome in, my friend.
There were 3 wide receivers with a rush.
This is really testing if you remember those plays. You know what I mean? Just like the big plays, the moments.
Man, I feel like it's somebody else because it's you, but I don't know. You got me, Simon. I'm playing the questioner, not the questions.
Well, I see answers in the chat. Multiple people confident in an answer, but we got different answers, so not everyone can be right over there. Well, the correct answer is Andrew's correct. Some guy did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown is your correct answer. Christian Watson was close, but his run was below 50 yards. He had a 40-something yard run. Amon-Ra St. Brown was the correct answer on that one. But I figured if someone would get tripped up, Christian Watson might trip you up on that one.
Yeah, well, I fell right into that trap.
Victor down here saying Watson did it to my Bears. Yeah, that's the run that I was hoping might be remembered by some people as incorrectly over 50 yards. Also, Mr. Scamper said, I totally thought it was Jameson Williams. Now, that was a different rush over 50 yards, I believe. You guys ready for the next question?
Mm-hmm.
I asked to just Joey.
I said yes.
All right. Which of the following quarterbacks, not so known for their rushing ability, had the most rushing yards last season with 247? Is it A, Justin Herbert, B, Kenny Pickett, C, Dak Prescott, or D, Derek Carr? So of these quarterbacks that aren't necessarily lauded as rushing quarterbacks, which one had the most rushing yards last season?
I think I actually know this.
247 rushing yards, nothing to sneeze at. You know this one, Joey?
I think so. But I'm probably wrong. But
Is it one of those Slumdog Millionaire moments where you're going back to like 3 a.m. on the
It is written.
You were scrolling stats.
you're exactly right. Because when we're making like the questions for Fantasy Jeopardy or for this show here on Pub Trivia on the Better Sports Network, wink, we'll sort by different categories. And so I'm thinking there is a player that 247. It just, yeah, I'm feeling it.
I know that feeling. When you write enough trivia, random things start sticking out in your mind. Well, guys, the correct answer to this question is B. Kenny Pickett had 247 rushing yards last season, more than Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, and Derek Carr. I'm guessing that was a false memory in Joey's head on that one.
Yeah, Justin Herbert did not run for that much.
No, he did not have that many rushing yards last season. And a better boss in the chat saying I'm drafting both Pickett and Carr late this season. I don't mind those as late quarterback picks. Joey, which one are you picking if you have to pick one of those two guys?
Oh man, I'd probably take Kenny Pickett. I think he's got better weapons around him. I'm not super high on Chris Olave. I could be completely wrong and have egg on my face for that. I just think that there's other players that are going to get some work too. Where I think Deontay is pretty much the clear-cut wide receiver one, and then Freiermuth is going to be the second in targets on the team.
And Pickett's got to get him the ball. Well, guys, question number 5 is coming your way. Which of the following tight ends had the highest PPR fantasy points per game last NFL season? So points per game. Was it A, David Njoku, B, Taysom Hill, C, Evan Ingram, or D, Zach Ertz? So that is A, David Njoku, B, Taysom Hill, C, Evan Ingram, or D, Zach Ertz. Which one had the highest PPR fantasy points per game last season?
Simon, you're stumping me this week.
You seem frustrated. I've gotten quite a few little groans out of you.
Yeah. You're doing what I do. You leave two answers out there that are like, these aren't it. But then there's two that are really good. And you've done the thing where you put the one answer that's completely ridiculous, which is always fun.
Also, I see Scampers in here saying these are tremendous questions, by the way. Well, thank you, Scampers. I appreciate it. I can't take any credit, though. These were all gifted to me by an alien presence that spoke to me in my sleep last night. So that's where these questions came from. And the answers came from there as well. And the answer to this question, maybe a surprise to some people, is Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz averaged 11.6 fantasy points per game, which was a full point more than Evan Ingram, who was second at 10.4. So a full point more. And Zach Ertz didn't play an insignificant portion of the season last year. He missed, 7 games? So he played more than half a season and was top 5 in points per game. If you said Zach Ertz, you're going to get points on that one, though.
It's Craig in the chat. In my experience, those groans from Joey means he's happy.
Well, let's see if we can get a couple more of those with this next question. Joey, here's what I want to know. Only one quarterback threw the ball 600 or more times last season while throwing fewer than 10 interceptions. Who was it? Was it A, Patrick Mahomes, B, Tom Brady, C, Kirk Cousins, or D, Aaron Rodgers?
This is a really tough question.
So only one QB threw the ball 600 or more times and had fewer than 10 interceptions. So they have to meet 2 criteria here.
Yeah, man. There's a name that came in my head right when you said 600. And then that name escaped me when you put the little caveat of interceptions on it.
Stumping you here.
Simon. I'm going to...
Guys, throw your scores in the chat as we're going on as well. I want to see how everybody's doing. We're through 6 questions after this one.
I was at a game where this person threw 2, so I don't know why I answered them.
Well, the correct answer to this question is B, Tom Brady.
Yes!
Tom Brady was the only player who threw more than 600 times, and he threw 9 interceptions. Yeah. Justin Herbert also threw over 600 times, but had 10 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins also crossed that 10 threshold. Aaron Rodgers didn't throw 600 passes.
You would not believe the insults that Buccaneer fans were throwing at Tom Brady at the Rams game last year. Like, get him off the field. He's a bum. And I was like, he's the greatest player of all time. Tom Brady won us a Super Bowl. Like, quiet down, everyone.
I set the threshold at 600. Tom Brady was the only quarterback who threw the ball more than 700 times last year. He threw the ball 733 times. And we're talking about Joe Burrow at 606 with 12 interceptions. All right, well, here is your next question.
Okay.
Question 7.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields led all quarterbacks in rushing first downs last year with 67 and 65, respectively. Which quarterback had the third most rushing first downs with 57? Was it A, Daniel Jones, B, Lamar Jackson, C, Josh Allen, or D, Marcus Mariota?
Oh, my God.
I don't think it's surprising to anybody who watched games last year that Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields are 1 and 2. But a bunch of these names could conceivably be number 3 with 57. Who is it?
You didn't say Tua, and I thought Tua would have been up there a little bit. But...
You doing all right there?
No, I'm not, Simon. You're a bastard, man, is what you are.
A bastard, man. I'm so sorry. Ouch, that really hurts.
No. Actually, Simon, you told me a very funny joke today about dentist offices.
Yeah, if my mom's watching this, shout out to her dentist office joke. The correct answer to this question, finishing with 2 more than Josh Allen, is Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is the correct answer to this question.
I knew that.
So if you put Daniel Jones, congratulations. And if you've drafted Daniel Jones for fantasy this year, congratulations. I think it's going to be a good season for you as well.
I saw a lot of Scott Fishbowl teams with Daniel Jones. I was happy with.
About 1 in 12 Scott Fishbowl teams has Daniel Jones on them. Pretty close,
very good,
at least.
Simon.
Here's question number 8. Who was the first quarterback to reach 5,000 passing yards in a single season? He accomplished the feat in 1984, and it wouldn't be accomplished again until 2008. Is it A, Dan Marino, B, John Elway, C, Warren Moon, or D, Joe Montana? Joe, you started nodding as soon as I said 5,000 yard.
Yeah.
Cemented in your brain. You know this one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to give too much away, but
I'm going to be honest with these all-time questions or like NFL history questions. Gauging the difficulty is so difficult because there's just, for some people, this is the easiest question in the world. And then for others, they're like, I have no idea with all these old guys.
I'm trying to think if I'm thinking too soon, to be honest with you. Like if maybe somebody got it and the player that came in my head right away isn't correct. But I'm pretty confident in the I need some more chewing gum though before I'm confident in the correct answer.
Well, Joey, we'll find out if the correct answer is what you said. Did you say A, Dan Marino, whenever you answered this question? Dan Marino is the correct answer. That record held from 1984 until 2008. Now I believe it's been accomplished 15 times, with 14 of the last 15 being since 2008. But that's pretty incredible that it stood for that long without a single other QB doing it. We'll move on to our next question here. Question number 9. Which of the following players scored the most PPR fantasy points last season? Was it A, Rachaad White, B, Gabe Davis, C, Jahan Dotson, or D, Cole Kmet?
Oh, man. Simon, this is an excellent question.
I'm seeing some chat or some questions come in the chat, or some scores come in. Christopher Reynolds that's sitting at plus 20. Nice job.
Nice job.
Scamper's sitting at minus 40, unfortunately. And I see I think Better Boss at minus 50 and Dame at minus 10.
You know, I'm going to say this one, and I feel pretty good about it. I don't know how I feel, actually. I'm wrestling with some feelings. Matt's excited in the chat. He just said, woohoo. Oh, super easy for the old guys. That's right, Matt. And then Matt just called me old. So that doesn't feel too good.
Hey, embrace it.
Yeah. With the Dan Marino one, I think as a native Floridian, you have to know that Dan Marino threw for a lot of yards.
You're required by law to know that. Upon birth, you're given an exam. Well, guys, the correct answer to this one is Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis scored more points than all of those other ones by at least 30 for all of them, by at least 30 PPR fantasy points, some of them much more than that. I was a little bit surprised as well, but I think that wide receiver 2 position in Buffalo is valuable even when disappointing.
I'm in on him this year.
You think
I'm
so?
in on him this year. The value is just, it's really good right now. He's going in like the 7th, 8th, 9th round. You can get him as your wide receiver 3. And last year he was going as wide receiver 2 in the 4th round. And you and I both, Simon, last year were like, that's just way too much. So I think it's settled down, and I think he's actually a pretty good value right now.
Post-type sleeper. Well, we're going into question 10 here. What is the name of the shade of red that the Houston Texans use as one of their official team colors? Is it A, Desire, B, Prismatic Legacy, C, Battle Red, or D, Texans Red? So what is the name of the official color the Texans use? A, Desire, B, Prismatic Legacy, C, Battle Red, or D, Texans Red?
I'm trying to think like a Houston native here.
Also, I see Damon here saying, Scampers, can you delete your comments about tremendous questions? It has gone downhill, baby. Always wait till after the appetizer before you write your review on a question or on a restaurant.
Simon. I'm going to go with, feels like a very football answer. I don't know. Scampers, were you watching earlier when I said that I loved your eyes? I just want to make sure you heard that comment earlier today that I made.
Okay. Well, the correct answer to this one is Battle Red, baby. It's the top red, Battle Red. And their blue is something like deep steel blue, navy blue. Like it's got like 4 words in it. If you said Battle Red, you're going to get points for that one. And Scampers, I loved your guess. Desire, the essence of wetness. That's I believe that's actually the red for the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Simon, it's funny we just use those real deep like voices. I feel like that's how we refer to Twitter now, is like X follows on X.
On X.
Like, right?
100%. One Nation Underground got that one right. Battle Red. Nice job, my friend.
I think I'm at like -10.
Let us know your scores. We're going to move into our next round here shortly. This will be our World Cup pack. Before we get into that, though, I want to remind everybody about Fantasy Alarm's Fantasy Football Draft Guide. You can get it by signing up on fantasyalarm.com, either for their monthly or annual subscription, or you can purchase it separately for $26.99. But if you want to go on there and start your 7-day free trial of Fantasy Alarm All Pro, you're going to get access to that draft guide. You just got to go to fantasyalarm.com to start that trial. You'll get a sneak peek of the draft guide, and then it'll be a no-brainer to sign up for that monthly or annual subscription. We have our scores coming in here. Ladarius and Edward are tied up top with 60 points. Christopher Reynolds sitting there at 40 right behind them. So there's our top 3. That is your barometer as we head into the World Cup round of questions. Joey, what are you sitting at?
Big old goose egg.
Hey.
I am 5 right, 5 wrong. Clean slate.
There you go. And we're going into some soccer questions.
Hey, that's good for me. I watch a lot of footy. What's your relationship to the Women's World Cup?
Me?
Yeah.
I watched it with my family religiously growing up. My dad grew up in the Netherlands and is
Holland.
The only sport we watched in my household growing up was soccer. It's the only one he cared about. So whenever the World Cup or the Women's World Cup was on, it was a family affair to watch every game.
I remember my 2 little cousins, Amy and Danielle, 2 Women's World Cups ago, glued to every single match for USA and England. So I always have a nice little soft spot for the Women's World Cup.
Scampers has a platonic relationship with it. And we're going to get into these platonic Women's World Cup questions. Question number 1. This is simple. Have you been paying attention at all? What is the location of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup? Is it A, Belgium and Netherlands, B, Japan and South Korea, C, Australia and New Zealand, or D, Norway and Sweden? Joey, have you been paying attention to where the World Cup is?
I haven't, but I have been paying attention what the matches were, and I went after tonight's Colombia. I forget who they're playing match. If Colombia wins, I will have gone 13 for 16 on predicting the first round matches or the first leg matches.
That's wild.
But I think I do have this right. Oh, there's 2 that I want to answer.
We got Albert in here saying hello, everyone. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. Glad to have you here. And I see some guesses coming in the chat. If you guys want to play along, have your score on the leaderboard, download the Better Sports Network app, and the questions will pop up in your screen as you're watching us. Or feel free to watch wherever you're watching.
The Netherlands cheer is Hup Holland, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to scream it at the
Like
top
you
of your
knew.
lungs, though, while taking your shot.
Poland! I just remember going to World Cup matches and hearing that. Poland!
Well, guys, the correct answer to this question is C, Australia and New Zealand. It is in Australia and New Zealand. It is the first time this competition has been held across two federations instead of one. We're going to move on to question number 2 here. If you said Australia and New Zealand, you're going to get that one correct. What I want to know here is the 8 FIFA Women's World Cup titles have been won by only 4 different national teams. The United States has won 4. Japan and Norway have won 1 each. Which nation has won the other 2 titles? So of the 8 titles there have only been 8 Women's World Cups. Of those 8, the U.S. has won 4. Japan and Norway have each won 1. Which country has won the other 2? Is it A, Canada, B, Germany, C, Brazil, or D, Spain?
Why do you have to put those final 2 in there? Actually, those final 3. Sorry to telegraph there a little bit, everybody. Craig, I see your comment in the BettorCast chat. You'll never walk alone. And yes, Craig, you'll never walk alone. However, World Cup, we put that aside. That's a Liverpool slogan.
Liverpool. Liverpool's getting talked about in the book I'm just listening to. About rock and roll. Not the soccer club, but the city.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, guys, the correct answer to this question, nothing to do with Liverpool or rock and roll, is B, Germany. Germany has won the other 2 Women's World Cup titles that do not belong to the United States, Japan, or Norway.
Thought it was Brazil for sure.
Not going well so far, Joey? That's okay.
That's okay. 20. That's okay. I can make it back.
We got plenty of time to come back. We're going to move on to our next question here. Craig's sitting at plus 30. Dame said says she's tied with Joey. We'll see what the World Cup round does to the leaderboard. Which NFL tight end is not the star athlete in their marriage, having only 1 Super Bowl compared to their wife's 2 World Cup wins?
Yep.
Is it A, Zach Ertz, B, Logan Thomas, C, Hunter Henry, or D, Cameron Brate?
Do you know this?
You do know your NFL wives. That is an area of trivia that I do not think I could stump you on.
No, it's really sad actually how well I know my own NFL wives. Like if you ask me like who the true Tannehill, the star of the Tannehill family, it's Lauren Tannehill. It's not Ryan.
This question is Joey Wright meets Andrew Cooper in a question form. It is the NFL wives of tight ends. And this is the perfect intersection of your knowledge bases. You guys got about 15 seconds to get your answers in on this one.
We have the Orlando Pride that play here in Orlando, and she doesn't play for the Orlando Pride, but when we went to the match that she was at, that's all they talked about was this fact.
That's awesome.
With this guys,
the correct answer
almost said the player's name.
So this one is Zach Ertz. It's a double Zach Ertz trivia night. We had an answer that was Zach Ertz in the first round. We have an answer that was Zach Ertz in this round. But Zach Ertz only has 1 Super Bowl win compared to his wife's 2 World Cup wins. So Zach Ertz, you can sit down when it comes to being the star athlete in your relationship. Dame coming in here. Julie Ertz, the absolute superstar in that relationship. Here we go. Question number 4 coming your way. Also, Scamper said David Blau is not the star of his marriage. Yeah, David, suck it. Guys, the correct... You threw me off with that one, Scampers. Question number 4. How many teams qualified for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup? It's the same as the number of teams in the NFL. Is it A, 28, B, 30, C, 32, or D, 34?
Unless I fat thumb this one, I'm getting it right.
You know the number of teams in the NFL?
I do. I knew the qualifying teams too.
You looked it up recently?
No, it's the same as the men.
I count the number of teams every day in the NFL just to make sure they haven't changed. It was shocking when the Texans showed up.
What is this? Speaking of, this isn't Texans, this is more Tennessee Titans, but the Houston Oilers throwbacks, just remarkably beautiful.
Hot.
I'm buying every throwback. There's 4 of them. I've seen 3 of the 4, and I know I'm going to love the Broncos one, which has not been revealed yet. But Seahawks, awesome.
Buccaneers,
Oilers
awesome.
looks fantastic. We know I bought the Buccaneers one the moment they went on.
My girlfriend said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, a Mike Evans creamsicle jersey."
August 18th, baby. It's going to be in my lap. Actually, on
guys,
my back.
The number of teams qualified for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup and the number of teams in the NFL is 32. 32 is the correct answer in that one. We're going to move on to question number 5 here. Before we do that here, Craig letting us know that David, Alex Pierce, and Gary Wilson are going to form an anti-FYF club soon. Yeah, David, Gary, and Alex are going to be leading the charge against FYF.
Is Carson Wentz like the chancellor over them all, though?
I think so. I think we could take him. I think me, you, Tim, and Jay and JL could take David Blau, Alex Pierce, Garrett Wilson, and Carson Wentz. Tim will handle 2 of them before we take out the rest.
I want Carson Wentz. Please give me Carson. Just kidding.
All right. Well, here's question number 5, and you'd like it. In 1971, 20 years prior to the first official FIFA Women's World Cup, an unofficial Women's World Cup was held in what stadium that has also hosted NFL games? And when I say unofficial, I mean only by FIFA standards. They still crowned a champion that was very much an official champion. A is Wembley Stadium in London. B is Allianz Arena in Munich. C is Twickenham Stadium in London. And D is Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. So which of these stadiums hosted the Women's World Cup 20 years prior to the official FIFA Women's World Cup?
This is a very interesting question.
Thank you. I thought it was an interesting fact when I read it.
71. Were we ready to go back there by then?
So Craig St. Carson Wentz is an emeritus party, like a retired professor of FYF dislike.
Oh, God, I feel like this is wrong.
Well, the correct answer to this question is on my bucket list. Estadio Azteca in Mexico City hosted this World Cup event in 1971, the second one of its sort in 20 years prior to the official one being held in 1991. Shout out our friend One Nation Underground getting that one correct in the chat.
I went Germany. I did. You went the little fact earlier about the 2 German Women's World Cup wins. I thought, I bet it's Germany. I was wrong.
Also, I see Christopher down here saying earlier, Darren Waller would have been a good fake answer in that tight end question. Darren Waller would have been a good fake out there. What question are we on? We're on question number 6 here, Joey. The United States national team plays their next game on Wednesday night against which team? A rematch of the 2019 World Cup Finals. Is it A, the Netherlands, B, France, C, Brazil, or D, Japan?
Okay, I think I know this.
So it is the U.S. next game on Wednesday night. And it's a rematch of the finals of the last Women's World Cup.
So I know that with the Men's World Cup, I was seen as a traitor on the airwaves of the FYF shows because I was rooting for England through every leg of every match. But when it comes to the Women's World Cup, I am very patriotic and I root for the United States. But I also root for England too.
I have dual allegiances to go with my dual citizenship, but I cheer for both countries accordingly. Yeah. See answers coming in the chat. I think this game they put at a reasonable time, so I'm actually going to go somewhere to watch it. I'm going to find a bar or a brewery or something around here playing it, and we will go watch the United States play in a rematch against the Netherlands. If you said the Netherlands, you are going to be correct. I'm wearing the jersey right here. That's who they're playing on Wednesday night, and I said it earlier in the show if you were paying attention. If you guys said the Netherlands, you are going to get points for that one. Nice job.
Megan Raponi's not in this this work. She retired, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, good. I hope her and are enjoying their retirement.
I have not watched much of this Women's World Cup because I don't like to be awake at 5 a.m. or midnight whenever the games are on and starting. But I just got to wake up for some of them.
I will tell you, for the World Cup that was in Russia, we had a lot of 5 a.m. Meetups at pubs, which was super fun. It was a lot of fun.
Also, Megan Rapinoe is playing, we're seeing. So
she is
playing in this World Cup.
Okay. Yeah. I apologize. Well, hopefully she kicks ass then.
Sorry for my ignorance on that one. Guys, here's your next question.
Her and Sue retired. I thought that was like a thing they did together.
Question number 7. The U.S. is the only team to win the FIFA Women's World Cup as the host nation. 2 NFL teams have won Super Bowls in their home stadium. The Los Angeles Rams did this most recently in Super Bowl 56. Which NFL team did this first just 1 year earlier than the Rams? Was it A, the Kansas City Chiefs, B, the Philadelphia Eagles, C, the New England Patriots, or D, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? The U.S. is the only team to have done this in the Women's World Cup, though, as the host nation to bring home the tournament.
Just making sure I don't fat thumb this one.
I see Hoove in the chat. What's up, Hoove? Welcome in, my friend. And if you guys are just joining us and you want to get in on the action, try to see if you can come out on top in Pub Trivia tonight, download the Better Sports app. The questions will pop up on your screen. You can play along with us.
Ladarius, this question is a conspiracy theory.
Well, the correct answer to this conspiracy theory, question is D, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah! You knew that one, huh, Joey?
I did. I was watching that game very happily.
I thought
no fans were watching it, but I was watching it.
Maybe by this point in the game, you would have been tilting so hard that you overthought this one and missed it.
I was very careful to make sure I hit the correct answer.
All right. Well, guys, question number 8 in your World Cup pack. What is the home country of NFL wide receiver Nelson Aguilar? One of only 7 nations to qualify for every single FIFA Women's World Cup. Is it A, Nigeria, B, Canada, C, Ghana, or D, France? So there are only 7 nations that have qualified for every single FIFA Women's World Cup, all 9 of them. This is one of those 7 nations, and it is also the birth country of NFL wide receiver Nelson Aguilar, moving to the United States when he was 5 years old.
Yeah, I think I know this one. It was in my head before I heard the options.
Dame says, if I finish at 0, did this hour even happen? No.
It's a good question, Dame.
It didn't. You're just sitting at 0 for all eternity.
Simon, I get to hug you in 2.5 weeks.
If I let you.
Oh, you're going to let me.
I will. I've been counting down the days. Guys, we got 2 more questions left in this World Cup pack before we move on to our FYF pack. We'll give you a score update here after those 2 questions. The correct answer to this question is A, Nigeria. Nigeria is the correct answer, and they are one of only 7 nations to qualify for every single FIFA Women's World Cup.
Do you want to know what country I thought it was, Simon?
What'd you think it was?
France! Remember that video?
What was
France!
that?
The Miss Universe pageant.
Oh,
they were going to all the countries. France.
Took me a minute. Every time I hear France, I just can't think about anything besides national hero and star of the Pink Panther, Jacques Cousteau, played by Steve Martin. It's the only thing that comes to mind. Well, guys, question number 9 is coming your way. We are all familiar with the NFL awards like MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. What is the name of the award given to the top goal scorer in each World Cup? Is it A, the most valuable offensive player, B, the Golden Boot, C, the Marta Award, or D, the FIFA Star Player Award?
Real quick, who played Jacques Cousteau? You said
Steve Martin.
Okay.
We're talking the remake, Joey, not the original.
It's all right.
Just so we're clear. I'm not claiming it's the better one, but it's the one that's culturally relevant to me.
I didn't say you are.
I only watch movies that Beyonce's in. I refuse to watch any movies that Beyonce doesn't star in.
Honestly, that's a pretty good little lineup of movies.
You could put together a library. I have to watch it every night.
Dreamgirls is really good.
It's the only option.
Who's
said, Joey, I'm losing it over here. Well, Joey's losing it on the screen. We'll see if you got this one right. The correct answer is B, Golden Boot. B, Golden Boot. You got that one right, Joey?
Yeah, I did.
As a soccer fan, that one was pretty straightforward, right?
If you would have put Ballon d'Or in there, I'd have been a little confused because that's FIFA gives that out. Or no, UEFA gives that out. And I got confused with FIFA, not a shit the bed.
Scammer said Joey had a tiny freak out as I said that. And One Nation wants to see 50 Cent cast as Jacques Cousteau. Yeah, I'll watch that remake. That'd be a pretty fun remake of Pink Panther.
I only watch movies with 50 Cent in it.
I'm not sure. I've seen a single 50 Cent film.
Get rich or die trying.
You're going to have to send that DVD to me. Oh, guys,
You don't want to see it.
Question number 10, your last Women's World Cup question of the day is, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, which team currently has the second best odds behind the United States to win the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup? Hint, their men's team took home the title in 2010 by defeating the Netherlands in the finals. Is it A, Italy, B, Spain, C, France, or D, Germany?
Oh my God.
Where were you in 2010, Joey?
That's what I'm trying to think. God. Oh, Simon. Where was Joey then? Okay. I think that's right.
This one I've
it's literally what I was doing is where was I in 2010?
You start placing the memory, and if you can place the memory, sometimes you can put it into the answer of the question. The correct answer is B, Spain.
Yes.
Spain defeated the Netherlands in the finals in 2010 in very dramatic fashion. It went into extra time. That game was absolute insanity. Spain took it home, and they are currently the team with the second best odds behind the United States to take home the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup as well. That was in 2010.
I have a friend named Joey that lived in Croatia, and they went over to Spain to watch the parade. And he said it was one of the best days of his life.
That was, I grew up in a household where my dad didn't care about sports much. And we went and we watched that game at a restaurant, and we drove home very sad. I had never seen my dad that emotionally worked up about a game. He didn't get angry, just it ended. He signed the check and just didn't say a word. And we just sat in the car for 35 minutes. And that was the first time I remember looking at my dad and be like, man, that's just real disappointment. That can't be surmounted.
When was the last time Netherlands won the World Cup?
They've never won the World Cup.
They've never won?
They've never won the World Cup.
I picked them to win last one.
They are widely considered the best team to have never won it. Always close.
They're like the Dan Marino of the World Cup.
There we are.
Bring it full circle. See how we did that?
Well, guys, update for your scores here after 2 full rounds. Edward has taken sole command of the lead with 160.
Whoa!
Darius in second place with 140. And Christopher sitting at 60 points behind them. Christopher and everybody else sitting here, do not count yourselves out yet. We've got 10 more questions. Not only that, that last question is going to be worth 40 points. That is plus 40 or minus 40. So there can be up to an 80-point swing on the final question. All right, question number 1 of your third and final pack. Here we go. Who did the New England Patriots face the last time they were in the Super Bowl? Was it A, the Philadelphia Eagles, B, the Atlanta Falcons, C, the Seattle Seahawks, or D, the Los Angeles Rams?
It's one of those two.
It's one of those 4 for sure. I can tell you that. It's a pretty good one, huh?
Did you?
Pretty good one.
You didn't do an AFC team question on this one.
So Scampers in here said minus 10, baby. Nice job, Scamps. Joe, you think you know this one?
I think I thought I knew it, and then I see people coming in there saying something different. And I got my ears confused, it looks like.
Well, we'll see.
I think I just gave away the answer. That's okay.
The correct answer to this question is not what's coming in the chat. It is the Los Angeles Rams. They played the Los Angeles Rams in 2019. In 2018, they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. And in 2017, they beat the Atlanta Falcons. So 2017, 2018, 2019, they made it back-to-back-to-back years. Win, loss, win, with the Rams being the most recent in that barn burner 13-3 win. 13-3 for the New England Patriots. That one was the easy one to forget, but that is the last time they were in here. Also, Edward in the chat saying has to bow out and get ready for his show, so it's still anyone's game. You guys can try to catch up to his score, but he's sitting there pretty high at plus 160. Your next question is currently sitting at 6.5-point betting favorites. Who do the Kansas City Chiefs play in their first regular season game of the 2023 NFL season? And to be clear, the Chiefs are the 6.5 point betting favorites. I could see how that might be a little bit confusing how this question is written. Is it A, the Detroit Lions, B, the Denver Broncos, C, the Las Vegas Raiders, or D, the Minnesota Vikings? So basically what I'm asking is, who's the Kansas City Chiefs week 1 opponent?
I know this.
I saw Andrea coming in the chat. What's up, Andrea? Welcome in. Glad to have you here.
Andrea, welcome.
Christopher said, as a Saints fan, I'm well aware of the year that the Rams made the Super Bowl and lost to the Pats. Was that another instance of the Saints getting just absolutely screwed in the playoffs by a refereeing decision? Let us know, Christopher, because I'm assuming that's what it is. There's a lot of painful Saints playoff referee decisions. The correct answer to this question is A, the Detroit Lions. So the Kansas City Chiefs will face off against the Detroit Lions in week 1 and opening as 6.5 point favorites.
It's the first game of the season, Thursday Night Football.
It should be a really fun game. I'm excited to see the Lions out there. Well, guys, your next question number 3 of this game. Sean Payton is taking over as the head coach of the Denver Broncos for the 2023 NFL season. What was the last season Sean Payton was the head coach of the New Orleans Saints? Was it 2018, 2019, 2020, or 2021? So what was the last season that Sean Payton was the head coach of the New Orleans Saints? Oh, in the chat blowing me up saying it was the missed PI. Jay saying, yeah, it was the no-call pass interference. And Dame saying, yeah, that was the implemented pass interference challenges. Whoops. Sorry, Christopher.
So has Tampa Bay won one Super Bowl since New Orleans won theirs?
Yes.
I know we've won 2 since Atlanta's ever won one.
Yeah, I think it's 1 since New Orleans. New Orleans won theirs in what, 2009, 2010?
Yeah, so and the Bucks won in 2004 and then a couple years ago. I just want to say that thing about the Falcons because Ladarius is in here.
That's nice of you. Well, the correct answer to this one is D, 2021. In my mind, it was much longer ago than that, but he just took the 2022 season off. He's back.
2020.
He's back. 2021 was the last season he was the coach of the New Orleans Saints. We're going to move on to question number 4 here. What I want to know is 2 rookie wide receivers caught 7 touchdown passes last season. Christian Watson and which other receiver? Was it A, Chris Olave, B, Jahan Dotson, C, Garrett Wilson, or D, George Pickens?
I'm at -10.
You know this one? Are you going to get to 0?
I do know this. I'll get this. I'll be at 0 again. I know this one.
So Ladarius said it never ends. Yeah. Sorry. When you blow a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, you hear about that forever and ever and ever.
I left that Super Bowl early because my wife was having trouble with our baby that we had a few months prior. And I was like, guys, I'm going to go help out. It was cool for her to let me come for the little bit I got to come.
Oh, I thought you were at the game.
No. I was in the car driving home and
I was studying that night for an exam. And I grew up in Atlanta, not an Atlanta fan per se, but always cheered for them. And I turned it on just in time to see Atlanta lose. I didn't get to see any of the fun parts for the Falcons, only the part where they lost the game. I didn't even get to see the comeback. I just got to see like the end where the Falcons lost. Well, the correct answer to this one is B, Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson had 7 receiving touchdowns last year. The only other rookie wide receiver to do it along with Christian Watson. You got that one, Joey?
I did.
You in on Dotson this year?
Mm-hmm. I think we'll see him and Terry McLaurin equal out and level out where they had their deficiencies last season. So I think the touchdowns will come down for Dotson, but the yards will go up, and vice versa with Terry McLaurin. I think his touchdowns will come up, but his yards might go down a little bit. So they might finish right where they finished last year.
Guys, here's your next question. Question number 5. 5 NFL teams had 2 wide receivers with 1,000+ receiving yards last season, including Miami, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, and which other team? Was it A, the Buffalo Bills, B, the San Francisco 49ers, C, the Seattle Seahawks, or D, the Los Angeles Chargers? So which of those 4 teams had a duo of wide receivers with 1,000+ receiving yards?
Let's wait for the question to pop up. There we go. All right.
Also, I see Primetime Fantasy in here saying evening, everybody. What's up, Primetime? Welcome in.
Welcome.
And Ladarius down here saying he's bringing multiple tables.
Yeah, him and Jay are talking about putting me through a table. Okay.
You deserve
Funny.
it.
Yeah, it could be. I probably deserve it. But guys, if you're going to do it, bring those WWE tables that break like paper and not the New Japan tables that are like really thick and could kill you.
No, I want Joey to go full force off the roof into something that's like just solid inch thick laminate from IKEA, and you don't end up going through it. Well, the correct answer to this one is the Seattle Seahawks. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf each had over 1,000 yards. They're the duo that ended up doing it. Shout out One Nation Underground in the chat, getting that one as well. Nice job, my friend. And we're going to move on to our next question. Question number 6. Which of the following players has been in the NFL the longest? Is it A, Keenan Allen, B, Marvin Jones, C, Mike Evans, or D, Brandon Cooks? Which one of these players has been in the NFL the longest? Keenan Allen, Marvin Jones, Mike Evans, or Brandon Cooks?
It's like I know the exact seasons for one of these players. It's like trying to figure, have any of the others been in longer than that? I'm like, I can't.
All right, guys, you've got about 25 seconds to get your answers in before we move on from this question.
Oh, man.
You think you know this, Joey?
I'm going away from what I think it is and going with a different one. I think I might got it wrong. I know one of these players has 9 seasons in the NFL.
All right, well, you guys got about 5 seconds left to get your answers in. The correct answer to this question is Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones has been in the league longer than all of these players. Keenan Allen, the second longest. Mike Evans and Brandon Cooks were drafted in the same year.
Were they?
So they came out in the same year. Keenan Allen, I believe, a year or two before that, and Marvin Jones a year before that. I was shocked whenever I saw how long Marvin Jones had been in the league. It's been a minute, but he's
still going. Is Baker going to give Evans his 10th season with 1,000 yards, Simon?
Mike Evans is going to give Baker his first season with a good 1,000 yards. It's what's going to happen. Baker, I'm not sure will have any agency in Mike Evans' 1,000 yards. He's getting there with or without him. All right. Well, guys, the next question is, how many tight ends had over 1,000 receiving yards last season? Is it A1, B2, C3, or D4? How many tight ends had over 1,000 receiving yards last season? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1, 2, 3. Who was I, Joey? I was the Tootsie Pop Owl.
Oh, that was a great impression.
Pretty good, huh? I've been practicing.
Even the glasses, yeah, that was
Simon. 1, 2, 3. In case anyone missed it the first time.
I'm going to go with that one. Guys, I have a confession to make. Tonight's not the night that I win Pub Trivia.
We'll see. Also, I see Randy in here asking if we're taking regular fantasy questions right now. Unfortunately, we are tight on time to finish this game. But if you hop into our Discord, Front Yard Fantasy, or into any of our other shows, we'd be more than happy to answer any and all of those questions you got, Randy. The correct answer to this question is just Travis Kelce. It's 1, baby. Travis Kelce is the only tight end who had over 1,000 yards. Randy Miller in the chat getting this one. One Nation Underground figured out this one as well. And we got JL in the chat. What's up, JL? Welcome in, my friend. And I see Andrea knew it as Kelce. Nice job, Andrea. Mm-hmm. Nice job figuring that one out. We'll see if anyone over here in the BSN getting that one right. See Better Boss down here saying he knows he drafted Cooks and Allen in multiple dynasty leagues. Well, that's not helping you out too much if you didn't say Marvin Jones on that question. Joey, how you doing after that one?
-10, baby.
Okay, well, you got time to get back to even.
Yeah.
We got another tight ends question coming your way.
Great.
This one's just about how many points they scored. Which of the following tight ends scored the most PPR fantasy points last season? Is it A, Mike Gesicki, B, Chigoziem Okonkwo, C, Greg Dulcich, or D, Juwan Johnson?
I really hate you as a question maker because I've not been very confident tonight at all. And I don't like that, Simon.
I'm sorry, Joey. You know what? After this, I have an
Sorry.
activity that can boost your confidence.
A what?
I have an activity that can boost your confidence after this.
What would that be?
You guys tune in on Front Yard Fantasy After Dark to find out what activity will boost Joey's confidence.
It's guitar lessons.
All right. Well, you guys still got about 25 seconds to get your answers in for this one.
I'm going to pick someone that had a pretty good late season charge.
You feeling confident or not so confident?
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah, that was the whole point of what you just said, if I remember correctly.
The Kelsey, the Zach Ertz one was the only one I was confident in tonight. And that's because it was about a player's wife, which apparently is my expertise in the league.
I see Jay in the chat saying, Yahtzee. Wrong game, Jay. Wrong game, but I appreciate the sentiment. The correct answer to this question is Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson had the most PPR fantasy points out of that bunch with 134.8. The next closest was Mike Gesicki, not even breaking 100 and 98.2. Chickasee Okonkwo only had a stretch of games where he was even relevant at all. And Greg Dulcich, same thing, but closer to the beginning of the season. But I knew those names were going to be tricky in there because those are the hot names going into this year. Randy said Chigger Dulcich and then switched and said, I'm going Juwan. Screw it. Well, you got it right. Guys, we're going to move on to our next question here. Question number 9. What I want to know is which of the following is most likely according to FanDuel Sportsbook odds? Is it A, Daniel Jones scores 10-plus rushing touchdowns? B, the Philadelphia Eagles reach the NFC Championship? C, the Jets sweep the Bills in the regular season? Or D, Justin Fields throws 30-plus passing touchdowns in the regular season? So which one of these is most likely according to FanDuel Sportsbook odds? Daniel Jones scores 10-plus rushing touchdowns. The Philadelphia Eagles reach the NFC Championship. The Jets sweep the Bills in the regular season. Or Justin Fields throws 30-plus passing touchdowns.
I feel confident in one of them, and I think one of them's a little tricky. But I like the options you've given us.
A little varied. We got a bunch of different teams in there. Different outcomes, different requirements needing to be met. You guys got about 10 seconds to get your answers in before we're going to move into our final question, the one that's worth 40 points. 5 seconds on this one. Start getting your brains ready for that last question. The correct answer is, the chat was all over it, B, the Philadelphia Eagles reach the NFC Championship is the most likely out of those options. The chat had it. They can't all be trick questions. Otherwise, you guys would know the tricks were coming. Some of them got to be the answer, but seems the most likely. Well, we're moving on to question number 10 here. And what I would like to know is, Case Keenum has made his living as a journeyman backup quarterback over the last couple of years. What team is Case Keenum currently on? Is it A, the Buffalo Bills, B, the Washington Commanders, C, the Houston Texans, or D, the Denver Broncos? For 30 points, 40. What team is Case Keenum on? Joe, you've been following the whereabouts of Case Keenum?
I think I know this one. We've gotten some comments that the Juwan Johnson question was marked wrong.
And I'm seeing a message from our producer saying that he accidentally hit the wrong button on that one, saying that it was incorrect. So, guys, all of those scores, remember to add 20. We'll see if we can get that corrected in the app. We'll see if we can get that corrected.
I think he's correcting it now. He said we're good.
Okay.
Awesome. All right.
You guys got about 10 seconds here to let me know on the last question where Case Keenum is currently playing.
You did a really good job of putting questions in the fog of my brain tonight. Where I think I know the answers.
That is my Joey. I don't even know if you meant to compliment me with that, but that is exactly what I aim for with trivia, where it's there, but you got to find it. You got to reach for it. The correct answer to this one is the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans is where Case Keenum is currently rostered. I see Randy saying, got that wrong, and I cheated. When did he get traded? At least you're honest, Randy, and thanks for coming in. Guys, we'll have the winners announced for you ever so shortly here, but I want to thank everybody so much for taking the time to come in and hang out with us for some fantasy football pub trivia BettorCast. Yeah, we're here every single Monday night from I was about to say my time, from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. playing some pub trivia where you guys are the contestants. We should have our friend Tim back with us next week. So we'll have a full house here giving you the trivia. We're waiting on those final scores. I think Tim should be back next week. I see Victor in here saying, great trivia night, bro, chachos. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of your night. See ya mañana. Dame in here saying, whew, this was a beating. At least I had fun. And we have the winner of tonight's game. Ladarius Brown with 240 points comes out the champion. A perfect last round going into it with 140. That is going to be it for us tonight, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow on the Fantasy Football Game Show at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for some more game show fun. And then back again next Monday night from 7 to 8 Central, 8 to 9 Eastern for more Fantasy Football Pub Trivia BettorCast. Joey, anything before we go?
Go USA. Is that, tomorrow?
That works. And go see Barbie. Enjoy the rest of the night, everybody.
Barbie.
We'll see you on another time.
Bye.